6-3, and we'd like to start our Veterans Day program. So we're going to have the Kingsford Color Guard march in, followed by the Scouts. I'm going to ask you all to stand for them marching in, the Star Spangled Banner, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then a prayer. So at this time, the Kingsford Carpenter Clash American Legion Post will march in. This time we will have the Pledge of Allegiance by the Girl Scouts and the Cub Scouts. Now we will hear the, thank you Scouts, now we will hear the Star Spangled Banner by the 4th grade.
Go. day we remember before you all who serve in the armed forces of our nation. Protect and defend them in days of battle and in the time of peace. Grant that they may serve with honor and dignity, both to your great glory and to credit to this nation. This we ask of you, Almighty Creator, in our name.
Amen.
Thank you, Louis. Everybody can sit down, please. This year at the fly-in over at the Ford Airport, Dennis Lynch from Norway was talking about how many veterans they're still finding from the wars that were in the jungles and stuff. And seemed like every issue of the VFW magazine, they list how many veterans they have found and they're still looking for. So at this time, TJ Van Pembroke, our Sons of the American Legion, would like to put the cover on the POW MIA chair, remembering those who lost their lives and haven't been found yet. TJ? Thank you, TJ. Our commander, Louis Adams, had a paper he'd like to say that he got about Veterans Day. And there's about 5 or 6 things I'd like to read on it, what Veterans Day is. Veterans Day, which was originally called Armistice Day, makes the anniversary of the end of World War I on November 11th. President Eisenhower changed the name to Veterans Day in 1954. It became a national holiday in 1938, although Congress passed a resolution in 1926 for an annual observance. Unlike Memorial Day, which honors our American dead, members who have died in the service of their country, Veterans Day honors all Americans, both living and deceased. In France, November 11th is still Armistice Day, and also in Great Britain, Canada, and Australia, November 11th is known as Remembrance Day, and is a day set aside to remember veterans of World War I, World War II, and other conflicts. To members of the veterans of foreign wars and their auxiliaries, every day is Veterans Day. So to all of our veterans, we salute you, and we want to thank you for your service. Thank you. I just want to say a couple things before. We got a speaker that's 10 times better than me coming up here after me. But I was just thinking, years ago when we first came here, how many guys we had in our Legion. Bruno Malley, Roy LeBarnway, Myron Federley, Larry Collins, we had all kinds. Now our post is down to about 36 guys, so it's hard. They were all great guys. But today I wanted to say a few things about freedom. I was over at the high school today and Nick Guyan spoke about his uncle, who we never got to meet, Garrett Lee, who was killed in the Vietnam War, and how much the family went through, for him. We also had a principal here years ago when I was here, Pat Bergeron, who had a brother, Jim Matchick from Randville, who was killed in the Vietnam War. So they did the ultimate sacrifice. But I also met a guy just a couple days ago. He was a veteran. He had shorts on and a prosthetic leg. He said he lost it in the Vietnam War, and he was only there for 43 days. So the rest of his life he lived with that prosthetic leg. So, teachers teach you how to spell the word freedom, but the veterans will get it for you and make sure that you keep it. So today, I wanted to tell you about a guy that I met years ago when I was only 19 years old. And I don't know if most of you kids are 8 or 9 years old now, but in 10 years from now, I don't know if you'll put forth what he did for freedom. When I went to Vietnam, I was 19 years old, and I met our platoon sergeant. We were in a platoon that was going to head north, and he was a little short guy, bald head, stocky. I thought he was 50, but he's probably only about 32. And he spoke with an accent. So when we got up where we were going to go, I got to be friends with Opa, and one day he told me his story. He said he wanted all the freedoms America had, so when he was on guard duty in Czechoslovakia, between Czechoslovakia and Germany, he took his machine gun and went across the border. They had it mined and machine guns and barbed wire and everything. And he went across and asked for asylum and joined our army. So anyway, he said when he was there, his family could not contact him from Czechoslovakia, and every letter he sent to them was just said return to sender. So at 19 years old, he gave up the country, his friends, his mother and dad and everything for the freedoms we have here today. And I only saw Opa for 1 year, but his name is still in my memory. So I want to ask you kids, in 10 years from now, would you go, if you lost your freedoms, go to another country and never be able to come back? So that was a hard decision. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about Opa. Just one last thing before I sit down. I've been going to the VA hospital and the Veterans Alliance, and I tell you what, the VA hospital is the best hospital. Friendly, they help you out, and it's only about 4 or 5 minutes away. So we're sure proud of the VA hospital. And the Veterans Alliance with Denise Formalo and Lacey, they're the best people. If you haven't checked in there, call them up and check in, because they do a lot for the veterans, getting them benefits and everything. So anyway, in concluding, I just want to say thank you, veterans, and I'm glad to be here today. So next we will have a song called Those Who Served by Teresa Jennings, led by the 4th grade and Mrs. Hubbestow. 9th through 4th grade. At this time, I'm going to announce our main speaker, Casey Lazard. She's a nurse over at the VA hospital, and her dad is in our Legion post, and her grandfather, Gerald Tapp, was in our Legion post, and at one time built our monument for veterans down at the Quinnipiac Cemetery, where we got all our name tags. So her family's really good at building things, and they're good people. So right now I'd like to here comes Casey Lazard. Casey?
Good afternoon. As Gary said, my name is Casey Lazard, and I am honored to be surrounded by veterans every day. Not only am I the great-granddaughter of an Army veteran, the granddaughter of a Navy veteran who bore the Battle of Iwo Jima, the great niece of a Marine veteran who did not survive the Battle of Leyte, the daughter-in-law of an Air Force veteran, the daughter of a Navy veteran. I am married to a Navy veteran, and I am the sister to an active duty Navy sailor currently stationed shoreside. I'm also Bel Air's mom, Mrs. Navarro's 2nd grade class. I also attended Woodland Elementary, kindergarten through 5th grade, and I'm a KHS graduate. I am honored to be before you today in front of so many students, faculty, and parents who are here to honor our veterans. First, I would like to explain what I do. I am the assistant nurse manager at our Veterans Hospital, or VA, here in town. I bet you all have seen it. It's that really big building across from McDonald's. I bet many of you have family members who work there, and I recognize many of you as coworkers. Some of the things we do at our hospital include doctor appointments and surgeries for our veterans. We have an urgent care department for sick veterans, and a medical floor to take care of the really sick veterans. We serve over 20,000 veterans at our facility. Our VA hospital is pretty special. We're the only one in the Upper Peninsula, the only UPER VA. Because we are the only one in the UP, it makes us the most rural VA facility in the country. Not only do we serve the entire Upper Peninsula, but we also serve northwestern Wisconsin. The next closest VA facility is Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is over 4 hours from here. One of the coolest things I get to do in my job is take care of veterans every day, at home and at work. I work in what's called the Community Living Center, where we take care of about 40 veterans who live there all day, all night, and year-round. I love my job. I've been at the VA facility for 6 years now, and the veterans there have taught me something new every day. Our military is made up of 6 different branches. We have the Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, and the newly instated Space Force. In order to be a veteran, you must have first been a member of the military, or in other words, have once been a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, guardsman, or guardian, and still are. Many of our veterans are our grandparents, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our aunts, our uncles, moms, dads, sisters, and brothers. All of these members of the military signed up to work for our government, willing to fight for our freedom, even if it cost them their life. All of our veterans have served their time in the military. Many have discharged and been able to come home. And today, we honor all of the veterans who are here with us, as well as the ones who did not make it home. Where did Veterans Day come from? It was originally called Armistice Day, way back in World War I, 1918, over 100 years ago. On the 11th day of the 11th month, on the 11th hour, all of the countries at war signed an agreement to end the war. That day became very famous as everyone celebrated all the way around the world because they were so happy that the war was over. It was later declared a national holiday and renamed Veterans Day to include not only our World War I veterans, but all of our veterans who have served. Without veterans of the American Revolution, there would not be a USA. Without veterans of the Civil War, there would not be the strong, united America we are today. Without veterans from World War II, we might not have a country with freedom. Without veterans from our current wars, we would be in fear of losing that freedom. These veterans have given us every day and protected our tomorrow. So today and every day moving forward, we thank them in every way we can. And lastly, let us remember that those who have gone before us and be thankful that such men and women lived. What can you do to honor a veteran? Well, the most simple way to recognize the men and women who protected and continue to protect our lives, allowing us to have freedom, is to thank them and ask them what their story is. We celebrate Veterans Day today and every day because without them, we would not be living in the land of the free. To the veterans in this room today, I sincerely thank you for your service and the sacrifice you have gave. Thank you for choosing to honor Veterans Day with me, and thank you for showing your support for all veterans, past and present.
Isn't it great to have a person like Casey in our community and in our VA hospitals? Thank you, Casey. And now we will have a song in service of the country by Teresa Jennings, led by the 4th grade and Mrs. Hubbestow. Every year we honor the veterans, but with a song. So I'd like to ask all the veterans in the audience to stand, men and women, and be recognized in the color guard while they sing the song on Veterans Day by Carl Hartman, led by the 4th grade. So all the veterans, please stand up and be recognized, and stand for the song, please. like to sing another song, The Heart of America by Teresa Jennings, and again by the 4th grade and Mrs. Haugusto. Makes the program go nice. And we're getting close to the closing, and right now we'll have a closing prayer by our chaplain and post commander, Mr. Lewis Adams. Louis.
God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories you have granted us, and to those people who have united with us to stamp out the levels of aggression, intolerance, and greed. Grant us now your continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes our victories possible in war and peace, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen.
Now towards the end of the paper, they try to squeeze everything in, so I'm going to put my glasses on. Every year I kind of remember a guy that used to be on our post, and his name was Zig Branowski, and he was born on Veterans Day, and he'd come to our program every year. It was his birthday on Veterans Day, and the kids would give him presents and sing to him and everything. So before I read the last thing, I just want to say, happy birthday, Zig. Now, thank you to our veterans, our Post 363 Commander, Lewis Adams, our main speaker, Casey Lazard, the Woodland principals, Mrs. Brazo and Mr. Johnson, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts of PAC 510, our chaplain, the 4th grade students, our music teacher, Mrs. Augusto, our KHS students who played taps, and that was Claire Anderson and Sean Lordson. We want to thank them. And we want to thank the Sons of the American Legion and the Legion Color Guard, and Mrs. Swanson's 4th grade STEM classes for making the chain decorations, and the kitchen staff. The kitchen provided us veterans with a dinner today every year, and it's really good. So we want to thank them. At the end of the program, we always have cake and coffee in the cafeteria, so we'd like you to join us in that. And join on the wall going to it, I think on the left side, maybe the right side too. We got pictures called the Veterans Memorial of people and their relatives who were in the service. We want you to take a look at that. And what we're going to do now is the color guard is going to march out, and then Mrs. Brazo is going to come up here and say a few words she'd like to say to you. Oh yeah, I forgot. I went way ahead of myself. We got to play taps yet. So at this time, Claire Anderson and Sean Larson will play taps. At this time, the Kingsford Carpenter Clash American Legion Post Color Guard will march out, followed by, I think, the Cub Scouts.
Now here's Mrs. Barrazo.
Thank you, Gary. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our Veterans Day program for today. We'd like to extend from Woodland Elementary another thank you to all of our past veterans and those that continue to serve to protect us and keep our freedom. So thank you very much. Great job, boys and girls. 4th grade, Ms. Hungisto, wonderful job. A couple announcements before we dismiss. Parents, we ask that you please stay seated until the kids have been dismissed back to class, so they'll be the first ones to exit today. There will also be, as Mr. Chapman said, a reception in the cafeteria for veterans and families to have some coffee and cake. And please view our wall of honor that we have put together with many, many veterans, family members, and those that are continuing to serve and protect us. Parents, if you are picking up your children from Mrs. Silas' class, Mr. Olson's, or Mrs. Hackstock's class, please stay in the gym. Parents who are picking up their children from Mrs. Van Wobelaer's, Mrs. Berglin's, Ms. Stevens, or Mr. Morrow's class, please meet in the cafeteria. All 4th graders will be walked to their pod to get their belongings and meet parents back in the gym or the cafeteria. And if you did not return a note ahead of time, you will need to check your child out in the office today. Once again, thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.